Count. You are here with your boy Charlie. We got Kyle and Dave to my right. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
So, guys, the topic that we wanted to discuss first this week was actually the pleasant surprise that I received on Monday Night Raw with an amazing storyline that was developed from start to finish involving one Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. It looked almost like they're starting to build out and tease the heel turn that we've all expected, although he didn't end in that heel turn. So before I jump into my thoughts, I'd love to hear what yours are in terms of what went on with Dean Ambrose this week.
I mean, for me, this week it's taken some definite steps, I think, in a good direction. They're doing a pretty good job with a long play on this. I'm glad they haven't burned through the heel turn yet. I'd really like to see them keep the Sheild going till at least the Rumble, at least, because I could see it ending at the Rumble to set up a Mania match. I'd even be okay if he turned at Mania.
Yep.
Because I'm enjoying the tension. I think they're doing a good job building tension. I like how Seth went up to Drew and planted that seed. Is Drew going to join the Sheild, or is it going to... It's great. They're doing a good job with that. I think it's the best angle going on Raw.
David?
I love that they brought the Sheild back for the Sheild. For the Sheild. I'm not for, Reigns and Ambrose individually. I'm for the Sheild.
Collectively, they do work better.
Collectively, they're better collectively than they are all separate.
That's for sure.
I do want to see a title run from Ambrose.
I want to see a heel title run.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, heel. Not this babyface shit. Like I was telling you guys on the chat, he is this type of... He's like this in between of Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, very much so.
It's like if Stone Cold and Mick Foley had a baby, they would have
Dean Ambrose.
Not Noel Foley. They'll have Dean Ambrose.
People have actually always compared him to Brian Pillman, and I think it's a really, really fair assessment. He is
that's a really fair assessment.
He is a Pillman, and here's the thing:
he's more of a little.
You need the psychopath.
Yeah.
Here's the thing to me: the best way to look at it is like this. You guys are as old as me, so you remember Doink the Clown when he first came out, right?
Yes, Doink when he first came was awesome.
Doink was an evil clown, and Doink worked very well as an evil clown, right? Mm-hmm. When they made him face, he lost it. And I hate to compare Ambrose to a clown, right? But when you take a lunatic, Dave's got to pee again. When you when you take a lunatic, right, and you make this lunatic all happy and like jovial, it makes him silly. There's no depth to the character. He's just like, how you doing, brother? And there was nothing there, right?
Yeah, it took all the depth away. Like, hit that angle that he was originally going to debut with, that had some depth to it. That angle with Foley, I wish that could have played out, because I was into that.
Me too.
That was a good angle.
Well, and I mean, it says a lot that CM Punk, it says a lot that CM Punk literally... the first names he calls out when he's trying to build a faction around himself is Rollins and Ambrose, right? Reigns was their dude, right? So Ambrose has all of the talent that you need on the mic to be a top face of the company. He's got every single thing that you're looking for. He even now has the look a little bit more. He's bulked up a little bit because of the surgery. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's in a position to become a top heel in the company when he flips.
I think so.
But I think what they're going to have on their hands is another Becky Lynch scenario.
I can definitely see that.
It's like Charlotte and Roman are the same person, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they are.
Charlotte and Roman. Charlotte is the female Roman Reigns. She's been pushed down our throats since she came to the WWE. So even though, let's be real, Becky, Bayley, all are just as, if not more deserving as Charlotte Flair. So when you're looking at it in perspective, you say, well, people actually want Ambrose to have the belt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if Ambrose turns on Reigns, he's a face, but he's a heel face, right?
Yeah.
So he's a badass face. He's in that Becky Lynch scenario, which we can talk about in a different video. But he's in that whole, I'm a tweener, I'm not with Roman anymore, honestly, if he turned on Seth, you could even justify that because it's like, how are you going to say shit to me? You did the same thing to me a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. So
and now and you've left him as the only one without a belt. Where were they when he was injured? There's a lot of things that he can gripe about and be justified, much like Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Where they have a justification for turning that the best heels always have to have their real reason why they're doing this bad stuff.
Well, and the thing is, you could see it in Dean's face. So the one thing I give Dean Ambrose is, while Seth Rollins is a good talker, emotionally, he doesn't show the emotions like Dean Ambrose does. Dean Ambrose has the best facial reactions and emotions out of almost every single person that you could possibly think of in the WWE. So when you're looking at him and he's standing in that ring, he's literally just standing there with this look on like, I'm going to kill someone, and you just don't know who he's trying to kill, right?
Yep.
So
it's going to be... Yeah, it's good. It's one of the best angles they've got going.
It's absolutely the best angle they have going on.
Who do they call? Who do they call on? The greatest of all time.
What do you mean?
Dolph Ziggler.
Well, the question becomes: does he go on a sole effort and just become a standalone Lunatic Fringe, or does he join the Dogs of War, realizing that I hate to break this to you, every single thing that Dolph said made 100% sense.
Yeah, it did. And the thing, though...
I loved it. I love that whole...
Ziggler's promo was on point, and then the exclamation point was McIntyre in the back going, you took me to my limit. You deserve more than what they're giving you. We'll be the tag champs. Braun will be the heavyweight. Come get the IC title, bro. It's all yours.
Can you imagine if they do... Can you imagine if they do, like, if he does join them, and then the Undisputed Era comes up?
Oh, the Dogs of War versus the Undisputed Era? No, I think, but that's why I think they have to keep the Shield together for a little longer. I think the Undisputed Era is going to go to Monday Night Raw. I do not think they're going to SmackDown. I think they're a Monday Night Raw faction. They've been grooming Cole to be Shawn Michaels. All these old guys are going to be gone. You're going to see the Undisputed Era go to Raw.
I would love to see a match between Cole and Ziggler.
Oh, Cole and Ziggler would be a fantastic worker match.
Yeah.
But so would Rollins and Cole. So would there's so many different matchups. O'Reilly you could put with almost anybody, and you're going to get a fantastic match out of him.
Kyle O'Reilly's my dude. I
think before they break up the Shield, because you have to realize something. If they break up the Shield, they cannot put them back together for a very long time.
Yep, the last time.
Yeah, but I feel like this is even a short time period, right? So this is Seth saw the error in his ways. They decided, let's get back together for the common good. If they break up this time, I think you're looking at 5 to 10 years before you can put them back together.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think at least 5. Yeah.
Like, how many times are you going to keep calling someone a brother? What are you going to say in 5 years? Oh, we're brothers. Brothers fight and make up. It's just the way it works. No, I saw you literally throw this dude off a cage. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a forgiving person. I ain't forgiving someone trying to murder me. Like, there's just too much.
And it doesn't work with Dean's character to keep going back to this dude.
No.
You know?
I mean,
he's supposed to be out there and on his own.
To me, if WWE is smart, this... Big if. But if WWE is smart, they go out, they figure out a way to get the Chris Brothers and Callahan from Impact Wrestling, and then they take them and they put them with Dean Ambrose, and then OVE comes in and attacks the Shield. Ambrose says he's starting a new level of justice, and it's Ohio versus everyone. And boom, they destroy Roman, they destroy Seth, Dean takes the title, Callahan takes the IC, the Chris Brothers take the tag team, OVE runs
That's
Raw.
Beautiful. That's the best idea you could have, I think. That's the best way.
You're right, Dave. What do you think?
I'm into that. I'm so into that.
I mean, I just want Amber to have a good run. I think he deserves it. He's one of the only ones that hasn't had that successful run yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what really killed him last time, honestly?
That Austin podcast.
Austin murdered him.
He buried him.
and it wasn't right.
Wait, he didn't. Did he really?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, he did.
Remember
buried him, but he should have been more.
No,
bro, you're going on a podcast. You're going on a podcast with Stone Cold.
But
Steve
think
Austin.
about it. They shouldn't have put him on a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'll tell you why. You could take. Would they put the Undertaker on a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin? No,
he still hasn't.
They wouldn't, because the reason being is because Mark Calloway would stay in character, and you wouldn't get what you're looking for. Ambrose broke character for that podcast. He's a chill, relaxed kind. The guy's name's John Good. Like he's a good dude. Like he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. He rolls with the punches. He flows. They put him on Ambrose on that podcast, and he went on that podcast as John Good, not Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
And that was the problem.
And I think Austin was expecting the opposite person.
He was expecting Ambrose. Yep.
And he got annoyed, and then he just buried him. Like, because Austin can bury anybody. He's such a renowned name. When it doesn't go the way he's liking it, you're kind of done. And it gave, I think it soured the company on Dean for a while.
Still, I mean, it's on the WWE Network. He should have came with the Dean Ambrose gimmick, not broke character.
Well, I think
you're gonna be on the fucking network. Why would you go?
The expectation, dude, that if you're champion, is you have to be a representative of the brand, and it's hard to juggle. How do I be a lunatic and represent a brand? But the whole story that they had built for him going into that was Stephanie didn't want him to have the title. She was actually more okay with Roman having the title, or, of course she was okay with that, or Seth having the title, because Dean was the loose cannon, right? Sorry to go Pillman on you. But they did not want Dean to have that scenario. So, I mean, looping back to this storyline, I think the best way for us to kind of wrap up this whole thing is, A, tell me how long you think it is before he turns heel, what happens when he turns heel. Let's get some predictions on that.
All right, my prediction is it happens at the Rumble, and that's going to lead to Seth and Dean at Mania. I think something's going to happen with The Rock. Yeah, Seth and Dean, I don't think he's getting Roman. I think Roman's going to wind up working with The Rock.
Yep.
So,
but is that for the heavyweight title?
I believe it is. I believe he's good. I believe The Rock's going to win it at Crown Jewel.
That's what I don't understand. Why is it? I don't know. Whatever.
Why wouldn't they put it on The Rock?
I hate that they do this shit all the fucking time.
Why do you keep bringing
The Rock? I understand you bring him for this, but fuck, god damn it, the guy's having a good run. Let him be with the title. If you're making him again, this is where I say bad booking, because you have him in the last 3 years. You have him in the main event of fucking WrestleMania for the title. Now you're gonna, just because of a stupid fucking no one cares. It has nothing to do with storylines. You're going to make him lose the title over there in Saudi Arabia for no reason.
Yeah, but he's not facing The Rock at Crown Jewel. He's facing Strowman and Lesnar.
No. That's Super Showdown.
No, Super Showdown is the 6-man tag, the Sheild versus the Dogs of War. Crown Jewel is the triple threat.
Really, I didn't know it was a triple threat. I
personally think.
But I wouldn't want to see. I would not want to see The Rock versus.
You are going to see The Rock versus Roman at Mania. That's coming. The question is, is it for the strap or not? Does Braun take it off of him? Does Brock take it back?
They've blown Braun. The Braun thing's done. I don't think.
Does Ambrose turn and take it, and then they could put Ambrose against someone else and Rock versus Roman, saying The Rock comes in to say you aren't a good representative of our family or something like that. The title doesn't need to be on the line for a Rock Roman thing to draw. But you put the belt on Ambrose and put Ambrose against, let's say, who would make sense on Raw?
Seth makes sense.
Ambrose versus Seth for the World Heavyweight. There, that writes itself.
Or even title for title.
Yep.
I want to see fucking Ambrose versus Seth again. I want to see Dolph Ziggler versus
matches, man.
I hate to... Dave, I'm sorry to break this one to you. I know you love Dolph, and I love Dolph from 5 years ago, too. They will never elevate him to the World Heavyweight title again.
That's bullshit. It's the best fucking wrestler in the world.
But he's
listen,
I love Dolph, but no,
he's the best off the mic, the best worker. And overall, he's a great talent to have.
absolutely a great talent to have. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
one disputing.
They
that
didn't
Dolph
want to
Ziggler-
let him
They're
go.
missing on that guy.
They don't want Nick Nemeth to show up at New Japan. I'll tell you that much. That's why they keep re-signing him. They know that he's the type of talent that could do what Cody did. Hit the indies and make the indies explode. But
He needs to, bro.
Dude.
I wish that he would leave.
they asked Cody Rhodes who he wants from WWE if he could have anyone. What's the number one person he had? Do you want to know who it is? You're going to laugh.
Right?
What?
The writer?
It was
Ziggler.
Zack Ryder. And you want to know why?
Ryder.
He said
Yep.
because when The Rock and Zack Ryder were standing in the ring, more people will go and woo 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 than they will for The Rock, right? So
Yep.
that's what Cody looks at it. So I think you send Dolph, you get a similar scenario. But the truth is, you have to realize something. Raw is going to be built around the Shield in one way or another. Roman's the centerpiece. Seth is right there. He's number 2. So if we're back to the time we grew up, right, it would be like Brett and Shawn, right? That's
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Roman. Actually, it's probably more like Luger, Brett and Shawn, and Roman's Luger in every
Or
sense.
even like Diesel Brett Shawn,
Diesel
something
Brett
like
Shawn.
that.
But Roman's Luger. In every sense of the way, Roman is Luger. The guy that they just
Yes,
keep
it is.
pushing on us, right? Then you got Brett, who would be more of your, I guess, Ambrose, and Shawn, who would be Rollins. So they do the same shit over and over again. Is this guy playing?
Yeah.
Is Dave talking to us? Oh, no, I think he's playing Fortnite. Oh, man. Well, I think this, so I'm going to give my opinion on where I think it nets out.
Close this out here.
I think that Dean Ambrose will turn heel. I think, Kyle, you're right. It will probably be at the Royal Rumble, which will give them another 3 or 4 months of the Shield being
He's going
together.
full heel.
No, I'm
And
saying
I think it goes before the Rumble.
no.
Right before the Rumble.
They're not.
What's the last
Here's-
pay-per-view on
I'm going to tell you why it's not going to go before the Rumble. Dogs of War, they're going to finish this feud out with the Dogs of War, and then Bray Wyatt is going to return with some semblance of a family, and they're going to battle them again. And then,
Yep.
and then when that's said and done, something else is going to happen, and then they'll at the Royal Rumble, something will happen where Dean turns on Seth. It's
You know
going to be
where
on
you
Seth.
know where I think Bray's gonna fall? Sanity.
No, but they're on SmackDown. If anything,
Doesn't matter.
I think it should be with the Forgotten Sons. They make absolute perfect sense. Call them up. They're
The
not doing
Forgotten
anything.
That's
They're
an NXT group. They're perfect for him. They're exactly what he needs. Another cult kind of guys he can lead. It would work well. I agree totally.
You bring Bray up with the Forgotten Sons. Let Bray. Bray doesn't even have to step in the ring. It could be Gunner or Jackson Riker and the 2 other guys, and Bray brings them up. Bring Bray back to his Bray. Suppose we could talk about that later, but Bray's got a lot of stuff going on. So I think he does turn by Rumble. I think his match at Mania is versus Seth. I think you're correct. I think the IC title will be on the line for it, not the World Heavyweight.
So you think that he's gonna win the Rumble?
No.
No. I think the Rumble's probably the catalyst that turns him. Like I say, one of them eliminates him, and you think Daniel's going to win the Rumble if they put the strap on
Let's
Miz?
place bets right now. Who do you think is gonna win the Rumble? Daniel Bryan. Who you got, Kyle?
Oh man!
Look at the story that they're building up.
Who do I want, or who do I think? Because I'd love any great. There's a number of people I'd love to see win it. I'm really high on Samoa Joe, man. I'd love to see Daniel versus Joe.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'll keep going. I'll tell you in a second.
I'd love to see.
Pick one, damn it.
You know, okay, look. Okay.
There's a lot of wrestlers,
dude. Miz takes the title from AJ. Bryan takes the title from Miz, and then you put Bryan with Joe. That's what I'd like to see.
But I think what's going to happen is, I think Miz is going to... Because remember, the number one contender for the title... So here's the thing. You will know earlier in the night who's going to win the World Heavyweight title. Because if Daniel Bryan beats The Miz, which I don't think is going to happen, I think The Miz is going to win. If Daniel Bryan beats The Miz, that means that AJ Styles is losing and Samoa Joe's winning. And you're going to have Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe at the next event. Or in a couple is the number one contender.
Okay.
If you flip it, though, and The Miz wins, well, that's a proper close to the Samoa Joe-AJ feud. Then The Miz takes on AJ. The Miz
Right.
beats AJ, gets the title, right? Because I think he's really close to Punk's record now, right? So the Miz,
very close.
The Miz beats AJ.
I think he broke it right.
No, it's the title reign was like 340 something, and he's at 330, so it's like another month away, right? And he's got it,
he's at least a month,
right? So he takes so Miz takes it from him. Bryan, after all of that loss, Bryan's not going to get a title shot against the Miz. You just lost 75 times against me. I'm not giving you a title shot. And then the only way that Bryan can get the title shot
is to win
the Royal Rumble. And then what did all of us bitch about for 4 years in a row? Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble. So now we're going to get Bryan winning the Royal Rumble.
I think it's a little too late for him to win the Rumble. I don't know.
No, it's not. Basically,
No, it's
you have
not.
to understand Daniel Bryan's character. They needed to beat him down to build him back up. They couldn't just hand him back the title. They needed someone to oppress him. And they're using The Miz to oppress him to the point where everybody's back behind Bryan wanting to see him win. When he came back, it was, oh great, we want to see him wrestle again. It wasn't, this guy's the world champion. We were fine with AJ. We were fine with Samoa Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need a reason to want Daniel Bryan to be champion.
I agree. I like that. I would go with that too. That's a very logical storytelling, and I would be behind it.
What?
I think the Miz wins it.
I think you think the Miz wins the
Rumble.
No, but if the Miz is champion, he won't be in the Rumble.
True.
So remember, at Crown Jewel, it's Daniel Bryan versus the Miz. It might be Smack Super. There's too many pay-per-views in the next 3 weeks.
I know.
At one of these events, Daniel Bryan is facing the Miz.
Yeah.
Winner gets a World Heavyweight Championship match.
Right.
Whoever wins that match is taking the title. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep.
When was the last time you saw a number one contenders match where the actual stipulation was winner gets a title shot on a pay-per-view?
Hasn't been a while.
It's just that I hate those damn stipulation matches and shit like that. Because I know that the thing is, the next thing that they're going to do is they'll probably have Daniel Bryan win, and then, instead of saving it for WrestleMania, where AJ can fight Bryan or Bryan can fight Samoa Joe, they're probably going to make Bryan win, and then go to the next pay-per-view and beat AJ Styles, and then forget about it. And there's all the, you know what I mean? There's all the boasting.
What will happen is, David, if you watch the normal way that it happens, what will happen is you'll probably have Bryan versus The Miz for another couple months after that as Miz tries to get his title back, right? Then Samoa Joe will pop back up on the back end and try to take the title from Bryan instead of AJ. All of this time, AJ is going to be completely out of the title picture.
And I feel like AJ and Joe's matches though lately, man, they've been stinkers, bro.
No, they were a good match.
Right.
The Hell in a Cell match is damn good.
They haven't been like that TNA AJ Styles versus.
They're older guys now, dude. Too.
They're older.
Yeah, but still, they could get.
Look at the story that they're telling you, though, bro. Look at the story. Samoa Joe showed up at friggin' AJ Styles' house and is ringing the doorbell. This is storytelling, bro. This is the shit that we watched wrestling for when we were 15. You have this huge Samoan dude on someone's stoop like, Wendy, Daddy's home. Doorbell, oh, come on.
I didn't see some.
That was magic.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I love you. I'm just so disappointed with where wrestling is right now. It's just like,
but I will say that
something to bring me back to.
The glimmer of hope is there
on the WWE side, not the indie side.
The glimmer of hope is there in the form of two people: Dean Ambrose, who is the key to the storyline on Raw and the overlying storyline on Raw, and Samoa Joe, who has delivered time and time again on SmackDown. I will tell you who's eventually going to take the title. They're saying he might actually win the Royal Rumble. It is Andrade Cien Almas. So, that's another guy to look out for. Oh, I love Almas. He's amazing.
He's an amazing talent.
Tranquilo.
I agree.
Sorry, I had to
Tranquilo, indeed.
Right? There she is. Selena Vega, what's up, right? She's right there.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think this
I think Almas is going to get Mysterio at Mania.
Probably will.
That's my and I think after that he'll go for the belt.
You think he comes back at the Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes the most sense.
Right?
Well, I think this is enough on the Dean Ambrose video because we've kind of gone way off topic with Dean.
Way over our
So
time.
we're going to have a couple more videos coming up tonight, guys. We will air them over the course of the week. Let me just say thank you guys for joining us again. Please hit the subscribe button and like this video. It gives us a lot of help and helps us build out our channel and our following and lets us to continue to build content for you and discuss different talking points. I am Charlie. That is Kyle. That is Dave. And until next video, I bid you adieu.